Recording. In today's vlog, I want to record astral projection. So this here is Doughty. He is well known in the spiritual community. He does a lot of vlogs about, how it feels like during spiritual evolution. And his phrase is like what it's like to expand your consciousness. So in this vlog, he talks about astral projection, and I just want to do a reactions video to it because I tried this, and I'll let you know how it went. So I just want to, this is called the rope technique. So this is how he explains it.
Or you go to bed every single night. Now, when we go to bed at night, what we are doing is we are shifting from what is called a beta state to an alpha state to a theta state to a delta state. Now, as we do that, we are having more ability to go deeper within ourselves, and if we learn how to stay awake for the process of us going to sleep, what we can then begin to do is actually have an experience, instead of falling asleep, to actually get ourselves to a state of astral projection. Now, a lot of times there might be an inclination to fall asleep. Now, the part of this is becoming aware of the whole process of going to sleep, and what I want to give you is the process and the technique that you can use to get yourself to stay aware as you fall asleep, and also to tap more into the idea of having that visceral type of experience. The part of this video that is going to be the technique is understanding the rope technique, and it's one of the most common techniques that people use. And to do this, all we simply have to do is lay down in our bed, and what we can do is start to bring us to start to become more present, take some of the energy out of the head, and then bring it into a more present state. But what we can then focus on is the visualization process. Now, visualization starts to become more powerful when we get to the deeper levels of brainwave activity. So closing our eyes, then we start to automatically go from a beta to an alpha state. Then the power is to visualize ourselves pulling ourselves up a rope. So visualize yourself laying down on the bed, and what you can begin to do is over and over again visualize yourself starting to pull up on this rope. Now, you don't actually have to do the hand motions, but what you can do is close your eyes and visualize you sitting up, what that would feel like, not just the visual image of it, visualize the feeling of it, make it visceral. The more you focus on it, the more likely you'll start to feel it. So just stay focused on feeling the sensation of grabbing your hands and grabbing the rope with your hands and moving up. And as you do that over and over again, you will start to feel it as if it were actually happening. And a lot of times the brain doesn't know the difference between what it imagines and what is happening. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. So simply start to feel that as if you are pulling up that rope. And one of the next parts of this process is then having the feeling of looking down at yourself as you switch.
Okay, so before he goes to the second part of it, I want to tell you what the first part feels like. So if you're a daydreamer, you're not going to have a problem with this. So if you paid attention to that part where he says when you're going into dream states and you're changing from beta to alpha to theta, I think that's how it goes, I'm not 100% sure, but your visualizations become stronger and stronger, and that is what happens. And the sensation, so when I did this, what happened with me was I started visualizing the rope process and the rope like coming out of me. I mean, numbness. Like, have you ever had a dream where you can't move? Like you feel like you need to scream, you're seeing something, or you need to say something, but you cannot move. Your body is paralyzed. It's that sensation, and it feels like there's an energy over you. Like if you've ever felt that, this is what the process feels like of when your soul, when you begin to like leave and astral project. Okay, so now I'll tell you what happened with me after he explains the second part of the process.
perspective. Now, some people in this will feel what is like a sensation, like a pop. Instantly choose to keep switching the perspective from being in your body laying on the bed to then switch the perspective of you actually looking over yourself. Now, what this allows you to do is to begin to switch your focus from that perspective to the other perspective. Remember that we're just switching perspectives. This doesn't have to be something that's unrelatable or so far outside of us leaving our body. We're just shifting the perspective. As we begin to continue, just simply know that you are going to retain your awareness as you make that transition. Do it over and over again. And as you begin to do that, eventually you will have an experience. You may have to do this a couple nights in a row, and you might find that you fall asleep a couple times or a couple nights in a row. Simply have the intention that you will do it, that you will remember the process of it, you will remember the shift that you make as you do it, you will have that awareness, and as you continue to get tired and more tired and more tired, have the intention of remaining aware of that whole process. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. But this is the most powerful technique that I have found for astral projection. It's one of the most common ones that people use. And all you simply have to do is focus on feeling the sensation of pulling up on that rope, switching the perspective of then looking down at yourself. Have the intention every night as you go to bed that you're going to do it, or you don't have to be going to bed. You could be just taking a nap through the middle of the day, whatever.